What is going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and it is November the 22nd of 2016. And I want to say thank you so much for being here on my live stream here on Facebook, as today I want to talk about how the last chapter of the 4 years finally made it to an end. You know, this actually is in combination with a post that I made on Facebook yesterday. And this post that I made on Facebook yesterday, this is exactly how it was. Not only did it do really well, it got over 2,500 likes, got over 441 comments, and actually look at this, 555 shares. But this is what I wrote. It is over. I did it exactly at 1:57 p.m., 2 minutes pretty much, or a minute after the sun had entered Sagittarius. But I said, it is over. The darkness, fears, and transformation you went through from October of 2012 to today is done. The future is now open for anything you can dream of. You will remember this week as a week of transitions. Congratulations. Although for some, maybe it's flipped, the end of this great 4 years and the beginning of an uncertain future. But it all depends on how a Scorpio and Sagittarius affects your soul. Either way, there is no doubt a long chapter has died and a new one has finally been born. What to do now? You might not even believe what is about to happen next. Now, the reason why I said this is because if you do the math, astrology is math. It's math based off the planets, but number one, we are not going to see Scorpio transits like we saw over the last 4 years again for a long time, for at least another 20 years. So that's a huge relief. Because when you're dealing with Mars and Saturn, the two malefics in astrology, and when they do retrogrades in that sign of Scorpio, they cut down to the bone. Saturn, in a very harsh and intense way, it doesn't take any prisoners. You got to remember, Saturn is Kronos. Saturn will eat your baby. And then when you're dealing with Mars, the warrior and the knife, and when you have Mars in its natural home of Scorpio, where it's cutthroat and it's deep and it's like surgically removing deep parts of our inner soul and awakening fears and transformation. You gotta also remember that this is very positive. Like, yes, it was very scary, but such positivity came out through the last 4 years. But what a time to have lived through that. What a time to have gone through that. It was a magical, transformational experience for us all. And yesterday, it ended. The only transits that are going to come left in Scorpio for the next 20 years of malefic energy, I mean, there really isn't. I mean, literally all you'll see is Mars in the next couple years, but it will not retrograde in Scorpio. We have Jupiter coming in 2017, which is a positive planet, which will retrograde. And then we have Venus, which will come in through after Jupiter and will go through a retrograde motion. I think that's 2018, or following the 2 years, 2019. So, kind of interesting to see how the universe is finally let go of that Scorpio transit. You know, the sun just went through Scorpio and finished healing up all the cuts that Saturn and Mars did. It's almost like back in the day when I got a cut, you know, my mom would say, oh, just go outside and put the sun on it. When the sun went through Scorpio, it somehow healed us all of our pain over the last month. But chapters end and new ones begin. And yesterday, on the 21st, as the sun went into Sagittarius, a new chapter has begun. Now, Saturn is halfway through Sagittarius. It is now direct and it is through its shadow period. So we are at a new chapter in our life. And as the sun in the next 2 weeks is going to conjunct Saturn, this next 2 weeks is going to be pretty radical. There is a lot of astrology happening. We have Jupiter squaring off with Pluto this week. We have a lot going on, and we're going to go into that today. I also want to remind people that we will be live here in the chat room with people on Facebook. So if you go on Facebook and you click this video and you look below, I will be paying attention to what is going on in the chat room. So I'm here for you guys all in there as well. But I have this really cool new way of what we're doing here at Leo King Studios, where I'm actually doing this more like live interactive way of doing the horoscopes by looking at the charts and kind of doing them like a football analysis would be on ESPN. And we have a lot of charts to go through on how I see this chapter ending and how this new chapter is beginning mathematically, astrologically, and just from what I spiritually channel. And there's a lot to look at. Excuse me, but I'm going to keep it as real as ever. And no, this isn't moonshine, by the way. It's just water. So let's see what I see here in the astrology. What chart are we going to do first? Why don't we start with the chart of this week? Because I think that that is the most important chart for us to look at. Here is the chart for Thanksgiving, Thursday, November 24th, 2016. We are about to have this Venus and Pluto conjunction happen as it's going to square Jupiter and the moon. There is a lot about relationships right now coming up. The reason why, because Venus is in conjunction with Pluto, which is getting to the bottom of deep relationship, purges, changes. We are at a new chapter. Here is the line between Scorpio and Sagittarius, right? And look at, the sun now is in the Sag space. Look at, Scorpio is now empty. And it will be. It really will be. This is the last week of any Scorpio stuff where the dark moon in Scorpio will happen at the end of this weekend. And it is done, folks. There is no more Scorpio stuff to deal with. We are in Sagittarius world. Our new futures, our new hopes, and Mercury is conjunct Saturn. We have to make some very powerful decisions about where we are going now. A lot of it is having to deal with relationships, because not only is Jupiter in Libra, but the sun is in Sagittarius, and what does Sagittarius rule? Jupiter, which is in Libra, and as it's squaring Venus and Pluto. This has everything to do with relationships, folks, about the decisions and where we are going in our life. Now, what's even more interesting is we just had Neptune this weekend go direct. So Neptune went direct on the south node. And when this happened, this was a major wake-up. It was a major wake-up call to where you're going in your life. See how this is aspecting the sun and Saturn's midpoint? The midpoint is the point between two planets. So without confusing people, let me erase all this because it now looks like chicken scratch and that I'm at a crazy, watching like a crazy thing here. I gotta go all the way back, but I wanna show you guys how this is so powerful. Let's get rid of all this chicken scratch. Okay. I wish there was an easy way to clear this, but they don't have it. Okay, so look at. The sun entered Sagittarius at 0 degree on Monday, yesterday. And the midpoint between that, Saturn, and the sun is about 8 degrees of Sag. And here's where Neptune just went direct. It exactly is squaring this spot. Major life decisions on who you are, where you're going, and what life and future you want to go for, what adventure you want to take. And there's a wake up to letting go of what might feel like a trap because Neptune deals with traps. What might feel like something you feel like is overwhelmingly called for, you feel like you're called to do this in your life, your intuition is overwhelmingly pulling you to a place that you must go. So this can be very intense. Now, this is talking about the new chapter. A lot of people want to know why the old chapter ended. I'm going to get to that. But I thought, let's talk about the future first, and let's talk about the excitement of where things are going before we talk about why things ended, personally. And this is such an intense week because Jupiter in itself at 15 degrees is going to square Pluto. Now, what's interesting is, I just want to sketch. Okay, so whenever you have the biggest planet, Jupiter, right? And it is squaring the smallest planet, Pluto. Pluto is like a nuclear bomb, right? Okay? Explosion. It's a little bomb, but it creates a huge impact of change. Jupiter is a big thing, but it's just so big so it creates some major change as well. But they're both making a powerful square. And as Jupiter is all about growing, and Pluto is all about death, this is a major moment where there is a major explosion happening of change, where growth comes through death and rebirth. So this is extreme because this is going to happen 3 times over this next cycle. So it's going to happen 3 times. And we are experiencing the first round of it right now, this week. And to be very frank and very honest with people, as we look at this is on Thanksgiving, this is not the easiest of all Thanksgivings, to be very real. Now, the positive of this Thanksgiving is there's a new chapter coming and there's a lot to look forward into the future and there's a lot of exciting new change. But boy, is it going to feel like maybe there is some sort of death, there is some sort of change inside of yourself about how you live in your life and how you're having to expand in new ways, and it's the new challenge. One thing about Saturn as it moves through the zodiac over the 28.5-year cycle is challenges change, but they never go away. And so the new challenge in people's life really is where to go next, where they believe they should go, where the fire is going to take them. The challenge before was dealing with fear, was dealing with being aware of places in yourself that needed to die and change. But now we are at a place in our life where we have a place we must go in our life. We have to take some new power in our life, and we need to go for a place that we feel that we believe we should go inside of ourselves. And the reason why I ended my my transmission that got so much great, awesome reviews on Facebook is at the very end I said, you might not even believe what is about to happen next. Over the next 2 weeks, and the reason why I use the 3 of Wands, not only is it as a very Sagittarius card with the yellow and the red and the fire and the wands and the wise man looking forward into the horizon, but the fact that Saturn's in Sagittarius, the fact that the sun's getting ready to conjunct here with all the Scorpio stuff done, the universe is moving forward now. It's all moving now into Sagittarius Capricorn, which has to deal with the center of the universe, the galactic center point, which means, now I'm going to take us to another high level, but I'm kind of going to get off where I was going, but cosmology is going to be everything of 2017. What is this universe we live in? What is the truth of the world we live in? The center of the universe is about to be the focal point of the universe right now, period. That might sound funny. The universe is about to focus on its own center. Because Saturn's coming to the galactic center point, all the transits are moving towards that way, the whole zodiac energy is moving towards Sag, Capricorn, and so the challenges are in these spots in your chart, wherever that might be, and in these parts of your life, your own beliefs and the life that you feel you're destined to live. And you have to make a call that's not going to be easy about that now. That's the challenge. Sure, the last challenge was, oh my God, I'm scared. Oh my God, this fear. Oh my God, I really am this way. Oh my gosh, this is too intense. Well, yeah, sure, it might be intense now, but you know how to deal with intensity better than ever because you've learned how to control your intensity now. You've learned, that's why the fears are over, the terror is over, the ghosts are not haunting you anymore because you know how, when they pop up, to laugh at them and go, I got that, I can deal with that. When the vampire shows up, you go, oh, get that wooden stake out and go through the heart, fuck it. When the zombie shows up, you've watched Walking Dead enough times in your own life to pull out like anything and just go right on the brain. But now, when it comes to your own beliefs and actually doing them and actually following them, and with Capricorn as well, with the destiny and the lifelong path that you feel you should be on, are you going to stray from that because of what other people believe? Are you going to stray from that because of what you think would be the best for you, even though you believe it should be a different way? These are big new challenges that we are having to face deep inside. And they're not simple, but this is the new path. So, as we speak about this new path, let's just go deep into why the Scorpio stuff has ended and how that is affecting us. So here is October 6, 2012. Let's go back to black. On October 6, 2012, Saturn came into Scorpio. See that? Right there, 0 degrees. And from that moment forward, up until yesterday, we were dealing with Scorpion, because I'm an evolutionary astrologer, okay? Evolution, I don't know if I spelled that right, okay? And so I focus on the signs and the planets and how they're evolving. And so Scorpio has been going through the biggest evolution over the last 30 years because of Pluto going through there, Saturn and Mars. It's done with all of its major 3 malefic retrogrades. It's done. So this haunting fear stuff started and got very intense on October 6th of 2012. Then let's just go to October or November of 2013. Boom, now you have the North Node in Scorpio in October or November of 2013. So this was kind of intense. I'm just trying to show people how each year kind of went by. Then you have the North Node and Saturn conjuncting. Hard times learning how to control your fears in 2013. Death's rebirth. But also at the same time, look at all that Scorpio. Sun and Saturn, North Node, Mercury. That was a lot of Scorpio to deal with in November of 2013, plus the South Node in Taurus, of course, so the full moon lunar eclipse and the solar eclipses started in 2013 in Scorpio. But what's even more interesting to me is in October 23rd of 2014 was the solar eclipse with the Sun, Moon, and Venus all at 0 degrees Scorpio with Saturn in Scorpio. Oh, wait, yeah. So it was a complete Scorpio. That was the peak. No, October through November of 2014 was the peak of Scorpio season. It was Saturn at its last degrees, right? The last decan of Scorpio. And it was a major eclipse, and this was the darkest it could ever truly be, really, inside of ourselves, and also the deepest purge inside that you ever had to go through, okay? Now let's just move to, I don't think I have, yeah, I do, I have it in here, folks. Hold on one second here. I have so many charts. So in August of 2015, Saturn finished in Scorpio, and it squared all this stuff in Leo, and this was the finishing of the Saturn energy, okay, which has to deal with, you know, control, and more importantly, really learning how to, I would say, grow up and figure out how to deal with Scorpio, which is change and fear and darkness, okay? So by August of 2015, you finally passed the test, I would say. But in 2016, I'm gonna have to do this without, let's do a little edit charts, and let's do April 10th of 2016. I think Mars had already retrograded, yes. So Mars retrograde, was getting ready to retrograde in Sagittarius. And it was weird because we had to wait up until, I think it was May 29th, so May 30th of 2016, Mars was retrograde exactly where Saturn did that thing in August 3rd. So this year, in the spring, was Mars retrograde, and summer, and finishing all that. That finally ended, and we've just had to go through the Sun in Scorpio, which was just recently, and that's why it's all done. There's no more work to be done here, folks. It's done. It's over. I mean, that was a big thing for me to put out, because some people might be like, oh, this guy's crazy. This guy's predicting that all the fear stuff's over, when it might feel like this is the most fearful time, especially with people and how they feel about the world right now and politics and all that crap. That is all just South Node Neptune irrational fear. There's a difference between fear and there's a difference between irrational fear. Now, I think both actually go hand in hand. But Pisces is like lost, and I don't know where everything's going. Fear works in both ways, right? It works with not knowing what's the future, right? Fear of the unpredictable, or what's gonna happen next. So you're afraid of something. But there's something about Scorpio that actually makes you fear something you see and you feel. Pisces is radical. It's like, you know, the media pushes something and you're going to be afraid of it. I just saw a big ad the other day about, in Southern California, any minute the big earthquake's going to hit and it's going to kill 1,800 people and over 20,000 people are going to be injured, and they're throwing huge fear on people. That's very like Piscean, like through the media, like there's no date on when this could happen, but let's just throw some irrational fear your way. Sure, there's a possibility that could happen. It also could be 200 years until you die. One thing about Scorpio, though, is it's the fear of like, oh my gosh, I did just see my mother die, and I'm dealing with that now. I did just see myself in its true state go through something fearful and darkful inside, and I'm now having to experience. So there's a very big difference. We are now switching into a world where perception, belief, and irrational fear is captivating us, where we have left a world where we were dealing with our own deep internal fears of our own self, of our own doing, of our own life. Now people are fearful of things that a television is telling them. What if you didn't watch TV? What if you didn't watch TV, There was a great article about a man who, especially during this election that just happened, has headphones on and he's wearing a jacket and he's wearing this thing and it says, "Please do not tell me who won the election. My life is going great because I don't know." So all the people that are afraid about how the election resulted in America, their fear is based upon what they saw on a television or on a newspaper, the media, which is what Neptune rules. But it's an irrational fear of what could happen. Nothing that's dealing within your own world, your own personal shit. So as this new chapter comes into our lives, everyone, I ask you to not let yourself be lost in irrational fears, to remember that anything can happen, to remember in positivity, to remember in following the destiny and the guide, and more importantly, the world that you want to move into, because the darkness is over inside of yourself, in the world at large, but there is a deception going on to make you feel like there is darkness in the world when there's really none at all. None. The irrational fear of darkness is what has come up, especially as we just finished a Scorpio transit while Neptune went direct. But now that the fact that we're in Sagittarius, this has to do with your beliefs. Are you going to believe in something so irrational without doing the research fully, and even the research just in yourself, and checking with your Scorpio and realizing, like, is this something to be really scared for? Or is this something that I can not give my power away to, of fear? And the thing about Scorpio is it gives fear or it gives power. So if you give your power away to fear, it'll be a really strong fear. But if you give your power away to revolution as far as passion or commitment or the phoenix rising, as they call it, you can make powerful change in the world. And the reason why change is happening so fast right now is because we're in a mutable time. We've got all this energy in Sagittarius. We've got the sun here. We got Saturn here. We got all this crazy energy happening. We got Neptune in the South Node. We just had a moon in Virgo through this whole thing. And actually, if you look at the astrology, especially over this last week, the moon and the sun have been squaring in the same kind of signs for the last 3 days. The sun and the moon have not been out of a square for 3 days. Whenever you see the sun and the moon do something where they follow each other into different signs at the same time and continue the square or continue the conjunction or continue the opposition, is always the biggest moment of transition in people's lives. And we are going through that right now. Technically tomorrow, when the moon drops into Libra, there will be a chill period, because finally the moon is out of a mutable sign and out of a fixed sign, where the sun just went through a transition through both and it followed it through both. I hope that makes sense to people. That's some deep shit. So I hope that all makes sense to people. But where to go now is going to be up to you over this next week and the week after, as the sun approaches Saturn. And with Mercury today and tonight conjuncting Saturn, you have to start to understand and have the conversations and really get to the bottom of the world and the creation that you want. And as Venus is approaching Pluto, as you can see right here, on Thursday, and with Mercury that passes Saturn, you're going to have to make a choice. And with the moon coming over Jupiter and squaring this is going to be a very big emotional hurdle to get you to a place of peace while making a tough decision. This is a time where peace comes after, don't count this, hard decisions of where you believe you must go. I know that's a lot to look at, but I hope that this helped you understand why the chapter has ended and the new chapter has begun, because everything's now in Sagittarius, the sun's going to come here, and this is where the story really is. Now Saturn and Neptune are dealing with their stuff, and we got to remember, now we're also going to be dealing with some other transits. We're going to be dealing with, coming up here in the future, really fast, Jupiter is going to start to oppose Uranus, and Jupiter is now starting to square to Pluto, and the Pluto-Uranus square happened through 2012 through 2015. And their energy is starting to sprat all of that crazy neurotic energy that happened at the same time, which happened during the big Scorpio transit of 2012 through 2015. That's why it was so hard, because you were also dealing with this horrible square. Jupiter's going to come and unveil and show us why it happened and understand how to find peace through neurotic craziness. There is peace to be found. And people need to really remember that. I'm reading just quick here, one person wrote, I don't think the decision is hard for me. Guess I'm lucky. That's great. For some people, Capricorn's easy, right? It's easy just to make a decision for what you want. But I think wait for this transit to hit, because with the fact that the moon's going to be on Jupiter square Venus, this will be a big emotional lesson. I think that the emotions are going to be difficult to deal with. The tough decisions will deal with emotional stuff that maybe you weren't ready to deal with fully yet. So I hope that helps everybody. I want to address one more thing before I go here. And that is, where do we want to go here? We want to, and it's this. This is what I want to let people know about the app, okay? And the uncut. It will be live for 2 to 3 more weeks, I'm assuming, because my app isn't fully done. And what I really want to show people is the app itself, because I think a lot of people are very confused about how the app works and what the app is. So, welcome to the world of the Leo King's iPhone. Now, the way this app works is it's not just the uncut. Every day there is a daily horoscope. So here's today's daily horoscope. You can see that the energy meter is at extreme, and it's a full thing. People write their comments and everything. And every day there's a daily horoscope. Every week there's a weekly intuitive video where I do a weekly intuitive report. There's a weekly tarot video that gives you all of the week's tarot and what's going on every week. And by the way, on every daily astrology video, I end each reading with a tarot reading. So at the end of each video, I end with it. So today was the Queen of Pentacles, okay? Then, of course, the uncut's on there. And then every week is your sun sign horoscope. So for Leo, you get your sun sign horoscope. I go through your chart and I help you understand what's going on for each Leo or each Aries or each Pisces or whatever. I think people need to really get this because they don't understand the app.
Notifications.
Second of all, there's notifications, which means that every day you get at 7, 12, and 5 p.m. the energy of what's going on. So at 12 p.m., focus on the things that bring you opportunities and not the things that will close doors. 7 a.m., things that have to get done even if you feel all over the place. So every day, and if you notice this, the notifications go back over 2 years. I could go through this thing for things. And it actually comes through notification-wise on your phone. Let's see if we could find one here. On my phone, on my own phone. It's like, I think it's been coming on my other phone. Oh, here it is. Here's a Leo King one, right? It's like Neptune is changing gears. Things could feel a little fuzzy in the universe right now. So like every day you get notifications on your phone. The other new things that are coming are going to be in the feed where you are actually able to, oh wait, here we go, settings. There is going to be a whole new entertainment section. There's going to be a whole new area for live talks and videos. The uncut, of course, is there. All your sun sign horoscopes where you pick your sun sign horoscope, your daily horoscopes, your weekly intuitive and extras. But we're also doing an entertainment section, and there will be other readers that will be doing other readings on here that I'm working for as well. Now, some people want to know, I don't have a phone that can do an app. Well, this is where I am going to show you that you don't need to have an app, okay? So you can go to leoking.lookstack.com. You can sign up here, or you could go to leoking.lookstack.com landing, and here you can find a way to get started. Do your 7-day free trial, $5.99 a month or $7.99 a month if you want to pay for 3 months or 5 months. And you can log in through this through your computer. Log in again, and boom. Everything is here on computer just like on the app. So it's not like, boom, here's today's horoscope, boom. We're even updating this website and the Android site to even be more like this. This is also on Android and everything, but everything is on here just like on the app. All the videos, the daily videos, the weekly videos, the notifications, all that stuff is here. So, I mean, I hate to be a fucking, like, it's so annoying. I'm going to just be honest. When I keep hearing, I don't have a phone with an app. It's like, I have spent so much time and energy with my partners building a website for you to do it all on website and watch on the web. Or even if you don't have a computer, an iPhone, or an Android, and you're on a Pixel, or you're on a Nokia, or you're on a Windows phone, you just go to leoking.lookstack.com on your browser and it works just like the app. So that's what I had to say about that. 2 to 3 weeks about the uncut coming off, and there will be videos on my YouTube every day. I'm moving it more towards an astrology-based talking YouTube channel. And my app is where all horoscopes are going to be, because I truly believe that I am the best horoscope app in the world, and I do the best astrology horoscopes in the world. Nobody gives you more horoscopes than me. I've checked everywhere on video. Nowhere in the world gives you more horoscopes than I do, and that's why I feel like it's worth $5.99 a month. People want to know why I'm moving off YouTube is because YouTube is a place that is about blogging about astrology horoscopes and blogging and talking. But if you want a real horoscope that's going to change your life and help you with manifesting your life, that's why I made the app. It's much more than just a horoscope. If you want to just watch horoscopes, go ahead. Watch them, but I feel that the way that I do horoscopes and the depth and the knowledge and the breakdowns that I do far reaches any other horoscope on YouTube. It shouldn't even be on YouTube. It's at the level that's on a different level. It's on an app level. It's a horoscope network of real deep horoscopes. So I'm gonna miss those that don't want to come on to the app, even with the 7-day free trial, and I'm pretty sure we're doing a Black Friday or whatever you call it, a Cyber Monday sale. So I'm gonna keep everyone up to date on that. I'm working on that right now. But anyways, this is the new chapter, and this is my new chapter in my life. I'm moving all my horoscopes to my app, And my YouTube will be about talks about astrology, like this that we talked about earlier, how we're moving chapters, or just interviews with other astrologers, or talks about how I look at astrology, or talks about a planet, or talks about, you know, more astrology-based stuff so I can move horoscopes purely onto my app. Anyway, either way, you're still going to get more astrology than you'll get anywhere else, video-wise. Even if you're still on YouTube, you'll still get lots of stuff. Or if you follow me on Facebook, I do more Facebook Lives than YouTube now because I think Facebook Live is the future, and I can connect with you here. So that's where I've moved everything, and that's where it's all at now. So anyway, new chapters, we are here. I hope this video helped. Please share it so people can understand this information, and I truly appreciate it. I do gotta go. I gotta go film the uncut right now. So I appreciate you all. I thank you all very much for supporting me, and I will see you guys on my next live video. Wake up to astrology like you've never seen before.